Cool. So I'm super excited to be having this conversation today about TARPI, maintenance processes, all of the fun stuff. And really excited to have Joe here with us. Joe, would you be able to introduce yourself and your amazing company quickly?
Yeah, definitely. Hi, Daniel. Yeah, my name's Joe Emma. I'm from Doyle Spillane Real Estate. We're in Sydney, on the Northern Beaches, Sydney. DY, most people know Manly. We're sort of a couple of kilometres away from Manly. So we manage about 1,300 properties in the immediate area. So yeah, that's a little bit about us.
Yeah, awesome. A beautiful spot. I was lucky enough to go there a few weeks ago. Very
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, we're pretty lucky.
Yeah, definitely. And 2 years, just over 2 years, you've been with Taffy now. Do you kind of remember what maintenance and life was like before Taffy?
Oh, definitely. And I think, for property managers in general, like maintenance is such a hard part of what they have to do. And before Tarpy, it's just a constant follow-up, phone calls, emails, and then not hearing back, then from the owner. So then you're hearing from the tenant, and you're constantly sort of being chased. You're chasing the owner, tenants are chasing you, you're not getting a reply either way. So yeah, look, I think anyone you'd ask a property manager, do they enjoy doing repairs and maintenance? And the answer is always going to be no, sort of thing. So,
Yeah.
and yeah, look, obviously, in saying that, if you ask them now, my team, I think that it doesn't even rate on their radar. I think I'm a big one using ideal weeks, and over the years, I've always had two or three, sure, 3 or 4 times a week, a couple of hours blocked out for repairs and maintenance for the team, just to give them a guide of what they need to be doing. I
Yeah.
reckon now if I was doing that again and preparing an ideal week for a property manager, they'd probably only need like half an hour on any given day to sort of handle their maintenance. So yeah, that's been massive for us, sort of the last couple of years. I don't know, it'd been 2 years, but it's definitely flown really fast. Yes.
Yeah, it has. It's been 2 years. That's awesome. And I think you're absolutely right. Maintenance, every time that we talk to someone, it's not necessarily their favorite part. So any way that can be made easier is huge. And time savings is a massive one. Your team in particular, you've rolled out the QR codes for the tenant concierge. 70% of tenants are using the tenant concierge for that reporting month on month, which is awesome. And we kind of calculate that to show that it's about 22 hours saved per month just on tenant reporting.
Yeah,
So
awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
That's the thing, you'd get a phone call, you'd be out, tenant would leave a message, you'd come back, call them back, leave a message for them. Sometimes you'd go a couple of days, before you actually touch base with the tenant to find out exactly what the issue is, and sometimes it's something minor, sometimes it's more serious, and then you're getting back to them at the end of the day and it becomes a massive problem. So for us, having the tenants reporting, they report at all hours of the day and night. You can get onto stuff pretty quickly in the morning. First thing, you can see something's urgent, and it's the first thing you do in the morning. So it's not sort of getting dragged out, and you're not having to do that all those actions that you would usually have had to do. So yeah, I mean, 22 hours is probably a hell of a lot more than that. Yeah.
yeah. And I think probably pretty nice for your team to be able to go enjoy the beautiful beach rather than answering calls and things like that on the
Yeah,
weekend.
look, that's what it's all about. And I think, as I said, with them, especially, with the team, we do have KPIs in place. So, and they're really big on that. And one of the biggest issues for us with maintenance in the past was having trades not getting the bills in, oh yeah, the job's been done. But for them, it never used to sort of come off their KPI until that invoice was in and the job was completed in the system. So we find even that now, very rarely are we having to chase a bill, and they get a reminder about the job not being completed, and they go, "Oh no, I did this. Here's the bill," So it's again, that's why I said to you, it's 22 hours. It's probably hot. It's a lot more because it's not only the tenant reporting, it's the time spent talking to the landlord, and then it's also the trade at the end of the day as well. So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think it doesn't matter if it's a landlord that you're waiting on for that approval, if it's a supplier or we're waiting for the tenant, it always comes back to the team.
Yeah, and I think that again, we're not getting followed up by tenants. I think that's the massive thing for us as well, is that the tenant, you can see where it's at, you can see we're waiting for approval, we can see that the work order's gone out, and we don't even have to do that. We just enter in the details, and then the emails and text messages are going out. Like before, you would have had to email the tenant, email the landlord. So again, this they're the things that we're finding assist our team the most. The fact that you can we're not getting calls from tenants saying what's going on, because
Yeah.
they can see that you've done the action and then just waiting for a response, and then they can see that the work order's gone out, and then the trades details there as well. So if they want to communicate directly with the trade, they can. There's whole different aspects of it that we find really, I said, makes it easier for our team and saves them time. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. And how has it been for your landlords having conversations with them around maintenance?
Oh, look, I don't have to talk to them. It's amazing. Like, and it's funny because, people say, oh, you got to pick up the phone. But in this day and age, I find a lot of our landlords don't want to don't want us to pick up the phone. They want to be notified. And now, as opposed to sort of in the past, now they're getting an email. It's showing a video. It's showing photos of the repair. Like some of my hardest landlords
Mm.
that I used to have, trying to get a hold of them, trying to get organized repairs. Now I send the work order and I've got a text message back in about 30 seconds. Like, and you think, wow, that was quick, like it just, yeah, if you need to have the conversation, you do. But in saying that, once that email goes out, I'll switch to something else. I'll look back and it's already got landlord approved, So it's like, so again, just massive time saving. And look, you talk to them when you need to, but most cases, our landlords, they don't want to talk to us. They don't want to be, because a lot of them go, oh, just do what you have to do, like, and the fact that they don't even have to pick up the phone, they can just hit a button and say approved, yeah, is massive as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think it just goes to show as well, they've obviously got that full trust in you and your team that you guys are doing everything, and then you can have those really powerful conversations with them as well,
Yeah.
rather than having to be.
And I always say to the team, the biggest thing that we used to have was like, you'd had a conversation with a tenant on the phone, they're a bit vague, you just want to get it resolved. You ring the owner. The minute the owner picks up that you're a little bit vague, they start to question you, and that's when you go, well, which tap is it, or what room is it, or how much is it going to cost? Where now the videos that the tenants put on, or the photos that we encourage, they're seeing that. So there's no question about, oh, yes, I can see that the tap is running, it's not just a drip, that they're answering their own questions just by looking at that information. So again, you're not being questioned about, the validity of a repair, or, doesn't need to be done. Like yeah, there's when you really break it down, there's so much more that comes into it, by the fact that they're able to see that, there is this process. We've already questioned the tenant. They can see the information. The tenant advised that, yes, they've been asked to check the switchboard. Yes, they've checked this. Yes, they've checked that. So the owner can already read that what has gone on behind the scenes. And I find that that's why you're getting that immediate response, because that was usually the question that the owner would, oh, have they tried this? Have they tried that? Yes, we've done all that. That's why we're contacting you now, sort of thing. So, yeah.
Awesome. Amazing. Well, that's fantastic to hear. And I know with over the last year, the team have been using that asset manager for the asset depreciation. So we've got a few hundred of those all loaded in there too,
Yeah.
which again, I think just backs the team to have that confidence that we know exactly, we know when we purchase these products, we know how much we're doing, and having that information for the landlords, massive.
Yeah, and to be candid, like when we took on Tapi, that was the biggest thing that I saw as that would help our team. And also because, like you said, that trust builds when you're going back, you can bring up the job very easily, what's been done there in the past. And sometimes I have those in email conversations. I can see that the plumber went there in June, but this is not the tap in the laundry. This is the tap in the bathroom, because in the past, when you ring them up, oh, didn't that plumber go there? What did the plumber go there? And you had to search for different programs to find when it happened, why it happened. So now you just, even before I send off the request, I just look at what's been done in the past. And again, and that's where that trust comes in that you spoke of, is that they know, oh, Joe already knows that the plumber went there and looked at that. And the asset was a big thing as well, because yeah, you're spending, you're spending $300 on getting a stove looked at, and it cost $700 10 years ago. Like, the reality is, why would you go and spend $300 when it's going to cost you 600 to replace it with a brand new one that's 10 years old? So some landlords just get that, and that was the biggest driver when I looked at your program. I could see that that was something that no one else had, and that was something that was going to build so much rapport and trust from our landlords, to know that we were having those good conversations with them, and not just, oh, we've got to spend some money. It's more about, do we really need to do this? Maybe we can do that, So I think they're the powerful conversations that you have, that build that trust. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, you guys have put the work in to make it all really successful. So it's awesome to hear that you're feeling all that value.
Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah, look, as I said, we do try and utilize it to as much as we can, because I think there's so much there that can help us. But I found over the years, different programs, you don't use them to their full potential, and that's when sort of people say, oh, didn't really work for us or whatever. It's probably 9 times out of 10 they haven't taken the time out to sort of learn what the capabilities are, sort of thing. So yeah, for us, and then again, we didn't even go into it, but the reminders that we don't even have to think about, that go out to the trade saying, hey, we haven't scheduled this job yet. Hey, has it been completed? Usually you'd have to have some sort of program to remind you, whether it was tasks and in software packages, or accounting packages, or Outlook, or whatever, diary. Back in my day when I started, it was a diary, like a repair manual, repair book. So you don't even have to think about it. That's been done in the background without, we don't have to follow it up. It's more so we get in responses from the trade saying, yes, I've got this scheduled. I'll update the system and whatnot. So, that again, even that is massive for our team. Yeah.
Awesome. Amazing. That's great. And how have you found kind of the support from Tapi with helping you to roll everything out over the last couple of years?
Oh no, been amazing. Yeah, look, obviously yourself, Daniel, yeah, you do all the hard
Yeah.
work. The boys just go out and sort of we see them. But look, it's good to be we're very careful about who we partner up with. And for us, they've got to be decent people, and like, even if your program was no good and you weren't decent, people, probably wouldn't deal with you. So yeah, nice people. I mean, as I said, Taylor's amazing. Yourself, like, the support has been amazing as well. Whenever we've got an issue, it gets resolved. You're contactable. Yeah, that's all we would ever ask for, is just that someone, when we need you, you're there, and that's basically what we get. So yeah, it's great. I can't fault it at all, because again, sometimes a lot of stuff these days goes online, and you can't talk to people because they just want you to enter something in a chat or things like that. But yeah, like, yeah, I don't think there's any, over the last 2 years, any time that we haven't been able to get a hold of you guys if we needed you, sort of thing. Not that we need you, but yeah, extra training we've asked, when we have different team members in, and also just updating us. So we are utilizing it till its full capacity. And you've been amazing with some training sessions that you've done with our team, and popped into the office. So that's been good. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. No, we are so proud to be working with you and your team. It's been awesome over the last 2 years. And yeah, we're so excited to see you guys smashing it and just continue with all of your success through
Yeah,
to
no, it's good. No, look, as I said, it's sort of yeah, we're always busy, as we were chatting about before. It's constant. And again, repairs can be a massive part of where property managers come unstuck. But we've found that, probably issues that we had in the past are just not existent, and my favorite part is that we have to deal with strata managers, like in buildings,
yeah.
and they hate being followed up. So in the past, you'd try and ring them, but they wouldn't take your call. You'd have to leave a message. You never hear from them. Now we get some saying, we don't stop sending us these reminders, you know, and it's like, no, we're going to keep sending them, you know, like take
Yeah,
us off the system. And it's like, no, we're not taking you off the system. And because they have been followed up, but it's not going to go away until you resolve or until we hear back from you. So I always laugh about that because I think that's my favorite part of it is
yeah,
that not that I don't like strata managers, like they're nice people, but I'm sure they're really busy and don't have time to talk to us that often. But you know, and I actually think that they should have something like tarping in place in their strata managers because I think it would make their life so much easier. So I don't know if you guys looking at that side of it, but they're the ones that probably need it, you know, the most sort of thing. So but yeah, that's quite funny. We get not nice emails sometimes from strata managers asking us to stop sending them reminders. So
yeah.
yeah, it's good.
But hey, it comes back to that part we were talking about too. It's your reputation to be getting all those work orders sent out and completed. So
Well, our landlords want it done and our tenants want it done, you know, like, so for us, we can't apologize for that. Like, you know, they just need to get it resolved. And I get that sometimes, you know, they have to speak to different people. But you know what, if it was their property that was being damaged by water or their tenant had an issue with mold or whatever it may be, I'm sure they would want to get it done as well. So I think sometimes they just have so much going on that I don't know. I don't know what the reason is for it, but yeah, it's good. It's yeah, I laugh. As I said, I don't get sometimes I get some really cranky emails from strata managers saying, you know, remove us from this system sort of thing. So it's yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah.
good.
Awesome. Amazing. Well, yeah, like I said, we're so proud to be working with you guys, and it's awesome to hear all of the time savings and the value that you're getting, your landlords, your tenants, and your suppliers are all getting as well. So yeah, we're absolutely stoked.
Awesome. And likewise with you guys, we love you guys. We love Taylor and
Yeah.
saw Boothie the other day, and the fact that you guys are so entrenched in our community as well. Like, you know, we've all sort of, well, I think all the best agents around Australia and New Zealand. So, you know, that gives us comfort as well, you know. So, because again, you get a lot of programs. They're here today, they're gone tomorrow. You know, they're just out the door. So it gives us great comfort knowing that you guys are here and you're improving the product as well. You know, like I don't know, every time I seem to go in, it's refreshed. You know, something's been added. You know, something's been renewed. So again, you guys don't just sit back and say, hey, we've got an awesome product and let's leave it at that. It seems that you're doing updates all the time and things that are getting better, and we're getting updates on what's changed, which again is something that is not common in what we do. Like we have a lot of different programs we work with, and you go
Mhm.
in and it just says, oh, you got a new feature, but no one's ever
Yeah.
explained it to us, you know, where you guys are saying, hey, this is what was coming up, you know, these are the notes, you know, have a look at this, you know. So again, you know, that's kudos to you guys for, you know, obviously making all these changes all the time constantly and keeping us updated on it as well.
Yeah, amazing. I so appreciate that. And hey, we're always learning from you guys in terms of what we can bring out and what we can improve. So we're always very, very excited to give you those new features and
Yeah,
release
that's
and
good.
teach you all about.
Excellent. We just got to get Taylor at a footy game soon or something, you know.
Yeah.
Get him supporting the Seagulls, Manly Seagulls or something, you know, instead of that NFL stuff that he watches or something, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly. Get him on looking at the right field, eh?
Yeah, that's it.